cannot resist it. You don't have the knowledge, you don't have the wisdom, you don't have the resources to understand that something's been put over on you. You cannot but help believe the definition of it as a creator. But you believe yourself being created as a result of not being created. That is to say, of being hopelessly unable to resist
Never going to get any better. Don't look for it. You have to resist that. Because the owners of this country want that. I'm talking about the real owners. The real owners, big wealthy business, control things, all the important decisions. But they're using the idea that you don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own everything. They own everything. They own all the lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves. I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. Not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interests. Right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around and get
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hard Truth Hour with Alicia Curry, aka the People's Champion, Alicia-4America. Coming to you live in the studios in Louisiana, New Orleans. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a stream I didn't want to do tonight, honestly. Okay. This is a stream that I thought about long and hard. Okay. But honestly, I wasn't to do, but God pushed me to do it. And truth be told, this is my doing streams that are very hard to do. Okay. Very straight to the point. No chicanery, no bullshit. Nothing but the facts, sir. This is what I'm known for. When it's hard and the going is tough, and you just want to be calm, towing party lines, lying themselves as if singing Rockabye Baby on the treetops in your NPR voice. Oh, following orders, going along to get along. These streams, ladies and gentlemen, if you will, that are hardest to do. I already know because we're streaming simultaneously against X. I'm going to lose. And I'm laughing because I don't give a shit. I'm going to lose at least 12 followers tonight. But it's okay, baby. This is what I do. Okay? We are tomorrow's news today. Our next year's news. We are not your entertainment. We are your infotainment in the info war. All shit aside, can we start on a side note? Okay. Before I get into the facts tonight, Jadik. With God as my, I didn't want to do this here, y'all. But I gotta send a hard message, God, to the MAGA movement. Do. But on a somber note, will you sing along? Well, the tide is finally turned, and Kamala's speech is slurring. Then God out of Joe. Screw the woke, screw the woke, screw the woke. And the media's dying. You're shaving their heads and crying. Well, they still don't know. Screw the woke, screw the woke, screw the woke. They tried to stop us taking his life, but they missed fight. The left really could beat the right. And they fought, but they lost, thank the Lord. Now January is coming. Half of Hollywood's already run. They're finding new countries to call home. Screw the woke, screw the woke. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for that somber moment, Jadik. But on some real shit, Daddy, can we pull up a chair tonight? Can we be honest, Papa, tonight? Okay, because there's a lot to cover here tonight. I may not be a celebrity archetype, ladies and gentlemen. I may not have lavish viewers and a big ass platform. All I have is a microphone. Okay, I have the First Amendment, the U.S. Constitution on my side. One backed by God, the power of God. And that is all you need. It's the wit and the wherewithal to tell the truth, to speak the truth even to power, okay, and to draw the lines. When it comes to towing the party line, 10 toes down. Let me echo the words of one Patrick Bet David, okay? The man who's known for the popular PBD podcast. He said, prophetically, I believe, that, and I'm paraphrasing, the MAGA movement has had an interesting crossroads, ladies and gentlemen, in which we have the opportunity to keep on winning for an eternity. We could win elections for the next 20 years, but we must be humble, vigilant, and careful how we move. Okay? We must seek to be better than the Marxist radical left. We must seek to build bridges with our foes. We must seek to break bread amongst our foes. We must be willing even to give gifts of thanks and praise and honor to our foes, like what was his name? The one senator, and I'm drawing a blank right now, but it was the guy who had the mental disability. And I'm really not trying to laugh, but and I don't remember his freaking name, and I'm drawing a blank. But he came out recently and said, we must back President Trump no matter what. He's a Democrat. Men like him must be rewarded and embraced by the MAGA movement. not shun aside, okay? We cannot weaponize our DOJ against him. No, we must honor truth. Wherever truth is found, we must build bridges with the righteous. As we move forward, ladies and gentlemen, you may learn a thing or two tonight. Now, I don't know it all. I don't profess to know it all, but I know you will learn a thing or two tonight. First and foremost, did you know before America annexed Florida, it belonged to Spain? Well, we're kind of talking about manifest destiny here. That's what we're going to get into, ladies and gentlemen, listening to the prophetic sounds of my voice. Manifest destiny, if you will. How America expanded, okay, and claimed land to fulfill their interest as their population birth rates increased. Let's turn the tables to Israel right now. They're the butt of this topic tonight. The truth be told, whether you like it or not, Israel is on a manifest destiny conquest. They're seeking to expand what they call the chosen people's land. They're also seeking to save face for a certain Benjamin Netanyahu. This whole thing, ladies and gentlemen, and trust me when I say this, is a PR campaign, a rebranding for Netanyahu, a corrupt, bureaucratic, almost sort of neocon individual. And we're going to be discussing the neocons tonight. I want to caution the MAGA movement. Be careful what influential powers you allow to steer this movement, the MAGA movement, the people's movement. Let me tell you this. The MAGA movement, the election of Donald John Trump, I take very seriously. Because unlike any other election, I put a lot of money, blood, sweat, and tears into this, as many of you patriots have. I fought long and hard. I caught almost every rally Trump held. I was there the day he was shot in Butler, PA. Well, I saw it live when it happened. I've put too much into this MAGA movement to see it calm down, crashing and burning the way the GOP burned under neocon leadership a generation ago, far removed. Because they placed their trust and their sense of direction into the neocons, the bureaucratic, oligarchical few who destroyed us. You want to know why it was so easy to elect Obama? You want to know why we received the Obama deception? It's because the neocons so tremendously destroyed conservatism. They destroyed, more rather, the GOP. We were so tarnished, so ruined, our trust so demented in the eyes of the American people. They said to themselves, give us anything but the conservatives, but the GOP, but the Republican Party. And what you got was a charismatic, fork-tongued, speaking servant of deception. A big government socialist enemy of the people in disguise. A wolf in sheep's clothing. Oh, y'all don't hear me though. But the people said to themselves, we are so sick and tired of being led astray into forever wars. Give us Barabbas over Jesus Christ. Give us the Obama deception against McCain, against Kerry, and others who ran against Obama. That's how we got Obama. It wasn't that he was black. It wasn't that he had any real good ideals. It was because the people were so sick and tired of being sick and tired. They took the lesser in their eyes of the two evils, the Obama deception. Now, when we began tonight, I sang Screw the Woke. No joke. Truth is, the woke could rebound if we do not watch ourselves. If we are not careful, as Patrick Bet David warned us and cautioned us to be, the woke could spring back just like that. And the people's movement, the MAGA movement, could go up in smoke. Keep in mind that this fraud, known as the Patriot Front, does not, never represented the MAGA movement. It was a way of the administrative state and the shadow government to co-opt the Patriot movement, to do false flags and little January 6th plural to blame on Donald John Trump, to disgrace our movement. And the truth is, come in very close. Patriots don't cover our faces. We don't wear masks like cowards. We believe in our founding fathers. Brave, because it's our credo to be brave. As American nationalists, as countrymen and women, we don't hide our faces like these cowards, these fads, marching in our names. Thank God we exposed those clowns. Thank God the MAGA movement is supreme today. But we've got to be careful, America. We reclaimed America, but we must be careful, or else we're going to lose everything we sacrificed, everything we built, because we're going to follow Netanyahu and what I'm calling the Zionist-cons, or the small hat cons, in their destiny scheme and PR stunt to rebrand one man. After all, what has Israel invested in the founding and building of the MAGA movement? I'll wait. An even better question is, how many Israelis, now American citizens, voted for Donald John Trump? I will wait. But before we get into the meat and potatoes tonight, and keep in mind, if you're brave enough to join us in the arena of political ideals, hit the link. However, we have some other hard truths to get into tonight. Like only I can see, I'm willing to take the fall. You guys, you celebrity archetypes, you've got too much to lose. Unlike me, look at my ex following, dwindling every day. And as I'm speaking, I'm pretty sure I'm losing a dozen followers. But that's okay. So let's make ourselves painfully clear. I warned you all not very long ago that the Zionists really don't care about anything but themselves. Now, a certain Laura Loomer, the face, if you will, of the Zionists, the representation, if you will, of the Zionists here in America, alongside with a certain Ben Shapiro. Now, I fuck with Ben Shapiro, but let's not get ahead of ourselves here. You dig? However, a certain Laura Loomer, who I had fallen out with before, and one Candace Owens, the great Candace Owens, had a fallen out with, you dig? Most MAGA patriots did have a fallen out with because she only cares about her Zionist-con views. Here we find her on X, the people's platform, okay, talking about, is Doge a way to cut spending? Oh, hold up, guys. I don't know what happened. I got kicked from the studio, but wait a minute. Bear with me. Let's start over. She says, is Doge a way to cut spending or redirect the spending to the billionaires? She says, hey, let's convince those peasants that we are, let me see, I can't really see that. It's kind of small. That we are saving them money, something to that tune, that we're cutting spending. But when the people find out we're not actually cutting spending, but more rather redirecting that spending to line our own pockets, in so many words, she's saying, then we will silence them. She goes on to stress we must have this conversation. And I said on X, long before a certain Laura Loomer jumped off the porch and said this shit about the MAGA movement and the people's platform known as X, I said, the Zionists only care about themselves, okay? They don't care about anything else. They just want our American shmoola, our American tax. But oh, a lot of the pro-Zionist party line towers who are 10 toes down unfollowed me, and the bleed hasn't stopped. But now she's trying to destroy the reputation on Musk. And all I can say is sit back, come in real close, and say, I warned you. But no one was there to listen. And the sad truth is, the Zionists are powerful. The ADL more powerful than the U.S. Constitution, the law of this land. The First Amendment means nothing when the ADL can silence you. Okay? And furthermore, I will say this. Who can stop them? Who can silence or cancel Ben Shapiro? Nobody. And one thing I hate the most, and I called it out before, now I'm noticing conversations around it, is celebrity archetypes experience freedom of speech. We, the little guys and girls, do not. See, we log on platforms known as social media, and our truth goes there to die. No one shares us out. We're not big enough on the platform. We don't get all the shares and requotes and posts. But in our stupidity, we log on believing, oh, I'm just going to jump celebrity archetypes bandwagon. I'm going to get views tonight. And it never, ever happens. Oh, you're commenting your ass off, hoping to get noticed, but it never happens. You know why? Because the funny way these guys actually certify the legacy dinosaur media. They say to themselves, who the fuck are you? You've never been on CNN. You've never been on Fox News. Why should I listen to you? You're not a celebrity. Where's your following, buddy? And they blow you off like a tick on a dog. But that's okay. Because the truth is, like a brick wall, you never know what you're gonna get. Come on. And when the truth and the chickens come home to roost, it's the only payday I need. When the truth resonates and all the big celebrity archetypes have to take notice to the truth and the seeds I've been planting. Let's continue tonight to get busy. There's more to this than meets the eye. First, I want to say the neocons are not so different from Democrats, really. They're warmongers. They push a project for a new American century, okay? They pushed a regime change in Iraq. They are for military primacy, expanding ballistic missile defenses. They're all for nuclear superiority. They're all for strategic competition with China, communist China. Okay. They are for fucking Space Force, which I don't have a problem with, but I'm just saying. Okay. Now, the neocons for a so-called quote, new American century fucked over, mark my words now, Southern conservatism. They fucked over the Republican Party and the GOP for generations until one man came forward named Donald John Trump. He saved the party. And together with patriots, we reformed the party, made it better. Now we are experiencing a cabinet full of superstars, Tulsi Gabbard. We've got Robert F. Kennedy Jr., you dig me? We've got Elon Musk, the incomparable, the unmentionable, the great Elon Musk, the great, beyond his years, Vivek Ramaswamy. Okay. Dare I go on? But the truth is, and come in close, Daddy, for this part, we could lose those men and women as fast as we took them from the left if we're not careful, as Patrick Bet David warned us to be. See, Tulsi Gabbard is no warmonger, okay? She doesn't support forever wars, nor does Robert F. Kennedy. Am I coming in clear, sir, of the MAGA party? Ma'am, of the MAGA party? Mark my words, you dig? They are not warmongers. And truth be told, the American public are sick and tired of forever wars. We're over it. Done. Stick a fork in it. Now, as we move forward tonight, I'm going to talk about hard truths. The hard truths that make you sweat when you're talking about being morally correct and you're defending yourself against terror. Or first and foremost, little Johnny, pull up a chair. How can you fight terrorism? Terrorism is an emotional response to be terrorized. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, Jadek. It's like how the CIA coined the term, or the phrase, if you will, conspiracy theory. So the word terrorism is no different, baby doll. It is a straw man, okay, to justify forever wars. Am I coming in clear? I know you're not loving this because it's the hard truth that only I exist to spread. And then you have what is known as NATO. And I did a little experiment recently in which I asked a question. Have there been more wars before or after the inception of NATO? Well, Google says, okay, that there were more wars before NATO. I agree with this, but there's a flaw to the question. Now, bear with me now. I'm surgical with this bitch, Jake. And here's the problem. Of course, there were more wars before NATO, dating back 200 years collectively. You got the Revolutionary War, all sorts of freaking wars. But here's the kicker. You rephrase the question too. Does NATO set the stage for more war in America to involve the American public in more wars? And an interesting thing happens. Truth is, yes, NATO sets the stage for justifying more war. Because what happens when a shithole country known as a NATO, air quotes, ally is attacked? Some shithole nation we care nothing about. Well, the warmongers jump into action, Jack, and they say, oh, a NATO ally has been attacked tonight. America must defend them. For you know it, we're sending our sons and daughters off to die in a fucking war. Forever wars. That NATO doesn't pay their fair share or kick in. Go figure. These are the hard truths, ladies and gentlemen. I know you don't like it, but it is what it is. Another hard truth. Before you fearmonger me about Iran, aka Iranian drones, and the possible Pakistan attacks on America, or Iran putting a hit out on Trump, understand. I've got a question for you that I had for you that I posed on X. More rather, it's a statement which goes, before you fearmonger me about Iran, let's have a greater discussion, okay, or conversation about why the West, Russia, and Great Britain created Iran, the puppet state, the bastard nation on the ashes of Persia. I'll wait. Because again, Iran is a good straw man, is a good justification for forever wars. Manifest destiny, anyone? This is how the game is played. I'm just laying it out for you all to play it out. We know that a certain so-called intelligence apparatus funds and controls ISIS. Now let us dive into a short video, and then we're going to discuss at length somewhat the humanitarian crisis unfolding in Gaza. Let's look at a video that covers this crisis, and then I'll be back with questions.
Where to run? Where's safe? Gunshots ring out. Children scream in terror. There's chaos, panic. Help us, God, help us, O Arabs, he screams.
This is my grandson. I don't know where his mother is. He's just 20 days old. What can I do with him now? Where can I go with him? Where can I find his mother and father? Please tell me where to search. We're tired. We can't cope anymore.
The stream of people fleeing looks endless. Close to 500,000 Gazans ordered to leave their already destroyed homes by the Israeli army as they launch a fresh assault on Khan Yunis, accusing Hamas of firing rockets from the area. A brother pulls along his sister, too weak to walk. Little legs struggle to keep up in the heat. An elderly woman sits down on the side of the road. Is it better to die here than keep on running and running?
You guys, give me a minute while I ensure if we're still on the internet here. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on here. We might have got the boot already. Wait a minute, hold on. Shit, how am I gonna do? What the fuck is going on? Guys, wait a minute. We're not even able to click on the video here. Let's do this. Yeah. Are we still live, chat room? Is anyone there? Are we live on YouTube still or no? Because I'm not sure. Damn it. Simo, are we still alive or no? I'm not sure what the fuck's going on. Simo, could you answer me? Anybody? Are we live still? I'm not able to pull it up on my device. I'm not sure. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna cut feed right there because I know the games of the globalists. Okay, so here's the deal. I have a question about Gaza and Palestine. And before you call me a terrorist sympathizer, just hear me out. In a nation such as Gaza or the Middle East, Arab countries where people are starving, the third world with no running water hardly, no internet connections, I wonder how it is they can build terror cells. I wonder how it is they can fight and fund these wars. And the greater question is, without proper nourishment, you've seen the photos of the children with the ribs touching. How the hell can they fight these wars? Malnourished, ill-equipped. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, we're dealing with a straw man in action. If you or I were to go into the Middle East, for real, our feet touch the soil, walk around, see a thing or two, meet the people and have conversations, I believe we would find there are no enemies here, only civilians, but a deceptive power, okay, who controls things, who writes the script, leads us all to believe that, oh, Hamas embeds themselves among civilians. We heard just tonight how, oh, the enemy embedded himself in Iran or someplace, or with the Houthis. The small hats walk back their attacks and no, those weren't civilians. Those were the enemy. No, history always repeats itself. And I see remnants of the Vietnam War playing out here. How we're told this is a guerrilla warfare. A nation of malnourished civilians. People who can barely feed them. We're told they are the axis of evil. But even more than that, the question has to be, why did Israel carpet bomb Gaza before extracting the hostages? I'll wait. We would have thought the smarter thing to have done would have been run a black op, a secret operation unannounced where you send in overwhelming numbers of troops to extract the hostages first, and then carpet bomb the enemy. So the question is, are there any surviving hostages left or no? But let us roll a short tape about manifest destiny, if you will, before we continue here tonight. So you understand and you overstand what this is really about. How nations seek to expand under a manifest destiny ideal.
Today on the Daily Dose, manifest destiny. During the first half of the 19th century, the United States population witnessed a near five-fold expansion due to high birth rates and a rising tide of immigration from Europe. Combined with the economic depressions of 1819 and 1839, westward migration exploded as Americans searched for new land and opportunities. In response, President Thomas Jefferson negotiated the Louisiana Purchase from France in 1803, which doubled the size of the United States, followed by the acquisition of Florida from Spain in 1819. By the time Texas gained statehood in December of 1845, the notion that the U.S. would inevitably expand to the Pacific Ocean had become so widely accepted in the minds of most Americans, setting in motion a flood of migration and political will into what would become the American West. The term manifest destiny first appeared in an editorial published in the Democratic Review in the summer of 1845, when a writer made criticism of the lingering opposition to the annexation of Texas from Mexico, urging readers toward a national unity for the fulfillment of our manifest destiny to overspread the continent allotted by Providence for the free development of our yearly multiplying millions. That same summer, an article by John O'Sullivan in the New York Morning News referenced manifest destiny in light of the Oregon Territory, which was another vast swatch of land which American politicians and laymen alike were eager to assert control over. By the time the Oregon Territory joined the U.S. following a treaty with Great Britain, America was now embroiled in the Mexican-American War of 1846 to 1848, which was driven by the spirit of manifest destiny as pioneers freely encroached upon Mexican land. When war ended with the signing of the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, 525,000 square miles were added to the United States land holdings, including what is now California, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, and Wyoming. While the conquering spirit of manifest destiny witnessed a near stunning territorial expansion over the first half of the 19th century, the unrelenting westward spread of Americans not only led to war with Mexico, but also witnessed the wanton mistreatment and dislocation of Hispanics, Native Americans, and other non-Europeans living in the path of westward settlers, at the same time fueling a contentious two-sided debate over which new territories and states would embrace the brutal institution of slavery, eventually leading a divided nation headlong into civil war. And there you have it. Manifest Destiny, today on the Daily Dose.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, did you catch it? Guess who owned Florida before the United States? Spain. Hard to believe, right? It will also be hard to believe when Israel annexes Gaza, Iran, and other parts of the Middle East for themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to bullshit you tonight. I don't play games. I just bring the truth. I want you to understand what I'm saying here tonight is in the long game. not in a week, not in a year, not in 2 years. The long game. For as long as it takes for this forever war to end, that's where my prophetic truths lie. And mark my words, the egg will not base at the end of the day here. You may call me crazy the way the spin machine, the warmongers called American patriots crazy during the Vietnam War. But when the truth and the smoke cleared, the patriots were vindicated. That's why I'm doing this tonight, to save our grandbabies and their future children's children from the impending doom, to safeguard the MAGA movement from its impending doom, a doom we should all know all too well. Mr. President, I want to have a conversation with you, sir, directly. I have but a few questions for you, Mr. President. If you're listening, after all, I tagged you to the X post. Mr. President, first question is a victory in Israel or the Middle East even necessary? Is it even within America's interest? Now, I know we're looking out for some people, but just like that overstep that God said, thou should not. Before you crazy, certify God said and commanded us not to kill. So those of us with a heart speak out against genocide are not so crazy after all. Thou should not kill. The 10 Commandments for the chosen people. Mr. President, time do we stand up to Israel and say, enough? President, shall we allow Israel's conquest, Israel's vision, Israel's investment, Israel's interest to undermine the America First movement? After all, Mr. President-elect, soon to be president, how can we say we are MAGA? Okay? How can we say with a straight face we're putting America first when we make agenda number 1 forever wars in foreign lands? Mr. President, I come before you tonight to impress upon you to think carefully about this. I heard you say just earlier, there will be hell to pay, quote unquote, end quote, if the hostages are not released by January 20th. Mr. President, I feel the America First agenda has already been derailed, like the COOF, the China flu, derailed your first 4 years. Mr. President, I'm afraid. Okay? We're going down a bad path here, and I'm appealing to you, sir, to think carefully about who you listen to, who you surround yourself with. Because my fear is just like the neocons a generation ago, far removed, the MAGA movement is emphatically going to crash and burn under the yoke of Israel's war on terror. An unpopular war, Mr. President, by American patriots in the world abroad. Mr. Martin Griffith of the UN already professed and claimed the humanitarian crisis in Gaza is the worst crisis he's ever seen in his career. Many other scholars will profess this is the worst crisis ever. Do you really want to associate the MAGA movement, your last stand, your last 4 years, and possibly taint that of your legacy has been a failed war with Israel on terror? Mr. President, I have a lot of respect for you and admiration, as all American patriots do. But I worry we're going down a wrong path here. And again, I wonder, is it within our interest as we seek to rebuild America, to reclaim America from the warmongers, from the oligarchs, from the bureaucrats, as Doge seeks to hold this corrupt, broken government accountable? How can we, Mr. President, when we are funding forever wars? Will the forever wars dwarf the work of Doge and prove Laura Loomer right? Or does America first, Mr. President, even have a fighting chance? Are we biting off more than we can chew, Mr. President? Are we selling ourselves up the river, Mr. President? I know you're a reasonable man, Mr. President, Donald John Trump. I've seen it. I know that God has his hand on you, sir. He spared your life for a reason. And I know you're smarter than popular narrative, sir. You can recognize the fake news spin. But I just hope you're not too bullheaded. I hope you're not missing the forest for the trees here. The consequence will be patriots like myself and others who fought tooth and nail, 10 toes down, who sacrificed monetarily for your campaign, who fought long and hard, some serving lengthy prison sentences for January 6th even, would all be in vain if Israel war on terror becomes the disaster God has already shown me it to be. So is it within our interest, Mr. President? Is a victory in the Middle East even worth your legacy? When the American people hurting, the veterans, the homeless population, when the America First agenda is starving for a leader. See, now, I get people like Nick Fuentes, I really do, because he understands. He's a true nationalist, and he knows what time it is. At some point, we must divorce ourselves from the UN, the WEF, the NIH, and other organizations that have been ripping us off. Now, I'm with you, Mr. President. Like many American patriots, we are with you, but we do not wish to be embarrassed. And we know that you wish not to be embarrassed. And it's so far strength can take us before strength breaks us or strength condemns us. And we are hoping, Mr. President, we're very hopeful that reputations, popularity, and power that corrupts absolutely hasn't blindsided you to the true agenda. Agenda 47, the American people, making America great again, lowering energy costs, creating jobs, building up our infrastructure, saving institutions, even like the church and other institutions such as the nuclear family in America. We just hope that Israel will not become, their war will not consume our 4 years to turn all of this around. Now we're taking baby steps, Mr. President. We've just won our mojo back after 4 years of Biden, 8 long years of Obama, the Obama deception. We're barely nursing our wounds back to health. But it all can come crashing down if Netanyahu leads us asunder. The globalists have already set the stage with Ukraine, corrupt Zelensky, and other initiatives, such as the bogus spending bill, to sabotage your economy, sir. Think about it. They're trying to win your good graces, even. We see the turn-in social media. We see the turn-in corporations and people such as Marburg and others. They're attempting to get close to you, sir, to co-opt you, to control you. We already know. And again, I don't wish to be very long-winded tonight, but Mr. President, is a victory in the Middle East worth it? Is it worth your legacy? Is another war, quote, on terror really an American interest? Those are the questions in my heart-to-heart, face-to-face, Mr. President. I've taken the time tonight at a very late hour in which I should be sleeping to say all of this to the American people, hoping, even praying, even this message will resonate with the ones it's intended. And so now, I believe it's time for us to remind you all again, is devastation. It is a crisis in Gaza. Where can the hostages be at this point, Mr. President? You are asking, you are pleading, even negotiating with so-called terrorists to return the hostages unharmed. But we got to ask ourselves, were there ever any hostages there to begin with? Was October 7th a false? You know what? Who knows? We have to be careful. We almost lost this country to the globalist, to the anti-humanist, not so long ago. And we could lose it again to the new breed of neocons, the Zionist-cons, the small hat cons. We must be careful, America. And with that said, let's check our backstage, ladies and gentlemen, shall we? I don't think there are any guests. Nope. When the truth is hitting hard, you don't get much support, you know. You got to be doing fuck shit on the internet, and you got to be a fucking celebrity to get praise and views. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been great. It's been fun being with you all tonight. But the time has come to shut her down. This has been the Alicia-4America broadcast, a message to the MAGA movement. Stay in prayer, ladies and gentlemen, and hope at the end of this all, the American people will be victorious, not globalist, not foreign nations, not foreign policy, but domestic policy issues will be victorious for once in our lives. That our children will stop going in up to our eyeballs for lost cause. Ladies and gentlemen, I bid you a farewell and adieu. Let me check my sources first before we get out of here. This has been a very brief hour, and I don't know if we're still broadcasting. The plug might have been pulled already. But for nearly 300 years, Spain owned Florida from 1513 to 1821. Just an interesting fact. I told you were bound to learn something here tonight. Let's go to our chat comments. To Hooded One, who says, I lost $5 freaking. And here's Hooded One, who says, hey, Ma'ata, remember when Elon Musk threatened to shut down the government? It caused the stock market to plummet. No, I think you got your facts twisted, buddy, but oh well. Simo says, if you understood the physics in space, you'll know space wars are a terrible idea. True enough. Zombie punk with the power, the rebel fist. I want to go back to something on this to clarify something with you all. See, the fake news media spin machine loves to say pictures such as this one on your screen depict symbols of hate. Let that sink in for just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, because what I see is a rebel flag. What I see is a political flag bearing the name of Donald Trump. What I see is the American flag. I see no hate here. I feels no way tired here. The more you know, America. When you are a good student of history, the more you know, the more you grow. Ladies and gentlemen, back to the comments, and we're out of here. Who else was here tonight? It looks like Black RG says groovy on a Sunday afternoon. Moshi X. We agree the neoconservative domestic social issues, socially liberal but with conservative rhetoric. Socially liberal but with conservative rhetoric. Let me see. Yeah, because neocons are very similar to the Democratic Party, sir. We already broke that down earlier. Very similar. The Uniparty. Player one, small hat banner. And then, that's not the real Tim Cast, is it? Come on, man. Like Joe Biden says, that's not really Tim Pool. There's no fucking way I pulled Tim Pool over here. Stop it. There's no fucking way. It goes very informative and entertaining. Well, yeah, we'll know if it's the real him. He will say something about it on his show, so I doubt it. Long-time viewer, first-time chatter is not him. This is my favorite underground conservative live stream. That's a troll. Come on, get it right. Moshi X says, do you think that the neoconservative foreign policy danger to national sovereignty? Of course, sir, it is. So anywho, that's it, folks. G. Terra says, you are an interesting lady. Just do your own thing. Don't do the fake stuff. Yeah, right. Now he's on our side. Now he's with us. If you can believe it, people. Soupbone says, Trump was always for Israel. This is true, Soupbone, but I worry. Know what I'm saying? I worry. You know, because the one good thing about Trump has been that he's been a maverick. He's never followed any one thing or anyone too closely. He's laid his own work. Idiot. Soupbone says, his legacy are those 34 counts. I disagree, sir. Those are witch hunts. You dig? The globalist is exporting Americanism. You haven't figured that out yet? Yes, I have. And that raises an interesting point, Soupbone. I saw something come across earlier. Someone was saying, or asking more rather, why more Indian people, okay, HB1 visas than, say, Germans do. And this raised an interesting point I've made before, that when it comes to certain immigrant groups coming to America, the shadow government selects those they deem to be docile. They deem to be more assimilate capable. Okay? You follow me? More good servants of the agenda. Don't ask questions, bend over backward for slave wages, okay? And do as you're told. That's what the anti-humanists prefer. So we shouldn't be shocked when we see people from India getting all the medallion taxi jobs or working in the 7-Elevens or running all the gas stations or taking all the tech support customer service jobs. There's a reason. And it opens up a much greater rabbit hole in which we overstand how the illegal immigration game is funded and how it's always worked. They bring in the docile groups. In the case of Africans, the shadow government is more likely to bring in East or Northern Africans as opposed to West Africans. Why? Because South and West Africans have too much in common with, you guessed it, Black Americans. Can I say apartheid? So they're more prone to avoid issuing visas to those groups. It's all about your conquerability when it comes to the totalitarian tiptoe, when it comes to the deep state, the administrative state. How controllable you are versus patriotic. Are you willing to do as you're told? Are you willing to follow orders? That's it, nothing more. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are done here tonight. Let us go ahead and close out. We pray for America. We pray for 4 years of peace, prosperity, and strength. God, deliver us from evil. God, show us the way. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. Salute. Wait a minute, before I go, let me check the backstage. No guests. I'm out. Ladies and gentlemen, be good. Be kind to yourselves. Okay? We're out of here. And now, some music to ride to. And come in close, Daddy. I bet you I made you think.
Cannot resist it. You don't have the knowledge, you don't have the wisdom, you don't have the resources to understand that something's been put over on you. You cannot but help believe the definition of it as a creator. But you believe yourself to be a creator as a result of not being a creator. That is to say, of being hopelessly unable to resist
The real owners, big wealthy business, all the important decisions. You know, you have no choice. You have owners. They own everything. They own all the rights. They own control of lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves. I'll tell you what they don't want.